give him a Hail Mary shot. 2 seconds to go.
Everybody runs to a spot, buy some time. I didn't see anything. Just throw the ball up, give my guys a shot, and let it fly.
It is.
Right into the arms of Noah Brown!
Once in a lifetime experience.
I mean, does it get any better than that? Absolutely wild finish in our nation's capital on Sunday. Rookie Jayden Daniels, that Hail Mary to win it at the end of regulation. I see it over and over, and I can't see it enough. But let's watch the play one more time. The focus here on the Bears defense. You can see cornerback Tyreek Stevenson with his back to the quarterback, seemingly taunting the home crowd in Washington. After the ball snapped, it's just over 4 seconds before Stevenson turns back to the action and realizes what's going on. He would run over to the scrum and ultimately be the guy who tipped the pass that landed in the arms of Noah Brown for the touchdown. Adam Schefter tweeted about this and the apology that you saw from Stevenson. He apologized to the team earlier today after everything that happened yesterday, and he was taunting there, as you can see. We'll actually bring you that apology a little bit later on in the show, so you'll be able to hear it yourself. But Dan, break it down for us. What went wrong on that play for the Bears?
Yeah, 2 crucial mistakes, not just the Hail Mary, but the 13-yard out that happened beforehand. So when I watched that 13-yard out to Terry McLaurin, 3 things that stand out. Number 1, Tyreek Stevenson's actually doing the same thing on the out route that he was doing on the Hail Mary, distracted, not paying attention to the play. Number 2, there's definitely a lot of communication going on in the middle of the field. And then number 3, this is Matt Eberflus up here, Raj. Now, I want everyone to watch Coach Eberflus and what he's doing. He is motioning to his defensive back, hey, I want you to get up, because what the reality is this. McLaurin's running that 13-yard out with 6 seconds left. If that defensive back is a little bit closer, you can't risk throwing that ball in play and the game ending. Those 3 moments in that play right there lead to that massive Hail Mary completion by Jayden Daniels to Noah Brown. There's that easy completion. Now, as an offense, we have 3 questions with the Hail Mary. Number 1, can we get it there? Absolutely, because of that completion. Number 2, everyone's got to run to a spot. I need you guys to put your heads down. Look at the Washington Commanders receivers. Everybody head down, digging to space. Number 2, when the Bears choose to, only 3-man rush. 1, 2, 3. What happens is we get 3 double teams as an offense, okay? That gives us time. Everyone's got to stay alive for Jayden Daniels. He's got to hang, and give everybody a chance to get downfield. Now, the third thing is this. Offensive line, you guys cannot quit on your blocks. Everybody give your quarterback a chance to put the ball high. The elevation of that ball matters just as much as anything on this play. And the third part is this. There is always a front tip and a back tip man. The Washington Commanders are obviously prepared for the situation. McLaurin has vision. He's the front tip guy just in case it goes forward. And Noah Brown is the back tip guy. Both players positioned perfectly with eyes on the football just in case. And the perfect situation happens for the Commanders. Noah Brown right there for that game-winning play. The situation is this. The Bears totally flopped when it came to handling that moment, both in the 13-yard completion and then the Hail Mary. And then credit the Commanders. Everybody did their job perfectly to get that Hail Mary to happen.
Daniels held on to the ball for 12.79 seconds. That's
Unreal.
an eternity, right? The longest time to throw in any touchdown pass since Next Gen began tracking in 2016. You already saw a lot of Dan, so Dan's here. You've got Mina, you've got RC, you've got Marcus, and look at RC.
Why am I so little in the screen?
I don't know. We need to zoom in a little bit. There we go. Okay, wait, bring it back to him. Let's see RC's outfit. He's got that Steelers fit on. We'll get to Monday Night Football throughout the show, you guys.
25.
And a reminder, too, that we are with you for 2 hours on Mondays, so there's a lot to get to. But, Marcus, you just saw Dan break it down. What was your biggest issue with the final defensive play call there?
Well, the 3-man rush, obviously. Y'all know that's a big part of my issue with it. The fact that you don't speed up and cut the head off the snake as opposed to thinking that you're going to make a play on the back end. We all understand the probability of getting a Hail Mary completed and being down there. But the possibility is something that you practice defensively and offensively every single week. The other thing is this, too, which is an elephant in the room for me, okay? Where the hell is Montez Sweat? I know you get tired in these situations, but your best pass rusher on the sideline with a quarterback that's holding the ball for 12 seconds in order to push the ball downfield, the spy, for what? I don't understand having a spy in that situation. We can all rally and get Jayden down if he starts taking off to run. It was malpractice by the coaches. I know we're gonna focus on Tyreek and we'll focus on what actually transpired during the play. But ultimately, stop the three-man rush. I'm getting a T-shirt made. And the second thing is, please, for the love of God, have your best rusher in the game on the last play of the game. All right, Mina, I'm sorry I took too long.
Well, it's not just a three-man rush. It's a three-man rush against Jayden Daniels, which is, might as well say, hey, take as much time as you want because he was extraordinary. And he scrambled for over 40 yards on that play. 40 yards! And I just wanted to emphasize that because I don't think this was Daniels' best game, and that's largely because he's had such excellent ones, but I do think it was his grittiest. I was so impressed by what he did with his legs in this one, obviously given the injury. In fact, when they came out on the second play of the game, they ran zone read with him, and then they didn't really do it again, but in doing so, they forced the Bears defense to account for the threat of him rushing the entire game. He also took off on some really timely scrambles. I just cannot say enough about what he has done rising to the occasion, but for him to do this kind of performance coming off of that injury, which certainly did affect him a little bit as a passer, I think it was so impressive, and it all came together in that final play. That does not happen without that quarterback.
As we continue our deep dive on this, let's shine a little light on the play before the Hail Mary. Dan alluded to this. The Commanders completed a quick 12-yard out to get them in range to take on what was going to happen here, the shot. So Bears coach Matt Eberflus was asked about it after the game. Listen to this.
You're defending touchdown there, and them throwing the ball for 13 yards or 10 yards, whatever that is, doesn't really matter. It's always going to come down to that last play. And it came down to a 2-second play to the last play, and we got to execute on that one.
RC, you okay with that answer?
Well, the first thing, it came down to a 20-second last play. It wasn't a 2-second last play. And no, I'm not okay with that answer. And I think Dan illustrated it very clearly is you played the sideline in the second quarter when they were attempting to get into a position to score at that time as well. So we know you have that play in your arsenal. I'm not asking you to sell out in this manner to where you have everyone on the sideline and all of those guys are leveled off. What I'm telling you is as you move two of the players up, you have one in the intermediate part of the field, which would be for sort of an out, and then you have a guy in the middle that would be playing sort of a post corner. You didn't get either of those things. And so if you're Matt Eberflus, you're making an excuse when you know it's not the right answer. You know that you messed this up. You gave them an opportunity to reach the end zone with the Hail Mary throw. What happens here, as Scott would always say, SVP, if they don't get that completion to Terry McLaurin, the rest of the game is pitchy woo-woo. And because you allowed him to get the 13-yard catch, Jayden Daniels was allowed to move around in the pocket, buy enough time, and give his guys a chance to get under the football and Noah Brown the eventual catch.
RC, I think it's hugely important, too. One, they have timeouts, Chicago. If they don't feel good about it or haven't gone over it, call a timeout. Two, with 6 seconds on the clock, we can only throw into the boundary as an offense. I can't throw that ball to the field if I'm a quarterback. So all you have to do is put someone remotely close to that backside receiver, and Jayden Daniels would have just caught that snap, thrown out of bounds, and to RC's point, pitchy woo-woo
becomes. Immaturity on everybody.
I love those. Scrambling 12 seconds here. As Mina pointed out, he ran like 40 yards, and the ball right there is going to be tipped and caught in the end zone. You see it. We're going to see it twice. So, Dan, go ahead and say something.
Well, the defensive guys always say tips and overthrows. We got to get those. Didn't get that one.
Didn't get that one. You've been waiting to say that, I feel like. All right, we're going to watch the play one more time. This, though, the focus on the Bears defense. You can see cornerback Tyreek Stevenson with his back to the quarterback. He's seemingly taunting the home crowd in Washington. And then after the ball snapped, you count it here. It's over 4 seconds before Stevenson even turns back around to the action, realizes what's going on. He would run over to the scrum and ultimately be the guy who tipped the pass that landed in the arms of Noah Brown for the touchdown. So new on NFL Live, Stevenson addressed the media earlier this afternoon.
I apologize to them boys for letting them down. I let the moment get too big, and it's something that, can never happen again and won't ever happen again. I understand there's anger. I understand, somebody ticket. I understand that the things that go outside of the building that could, possibly affect how somebody feels and all that. But, to be honest, I'm worried about the opinion of the building. And you know, if these guys got my back, and that's how I'm moving forward.
Ooh, this game can be cruel at times. RC, take us inside the last play on the defensive side. What should be the responsibilities of all those cornerbacks and safeties that are on the field for Chicago in that spot?
Yeah, well, first off, Marcus understands this because he's played a ton of basketball. It should look like the opening tip of a basketball game. Everybody should have a body. And if you're Tyreek Stevenson, who I truly, truly love because I knew him in high school, this can't happen. You can't. He didn't let the moment get too big. The moment wasn't big enough. He should understand that until the clock strikes 0, you can't be having a party down here. Now, also, as Dan talked about earlier, why do we have a spy? You only rush 3 on probably the second most elusive quarterback in all of football, Jayden Daniels. And so this spy should be adding to the rush. Now here on the throw, we're going to see Tyreek Stevenson. He's going to enter the fray, but someone should be blocking out Noah Brown and jumping in front of him or waiting for the carom. There was someone that was in front of the pile boxing out to get anything that was tipped forward. Someone else should have been behind it. And when you don't stick to those assignments, in which you do it every single Saturday in walkthrough, this is what can happen. And this bit the Chicago Bears in the butt when they had a possibility of winning a game that they shouldn't have even been in.
Yeah, RC, I put this on coaching. Like, I get what Tyreek Stevenson did, and he should get whatever he got coming to him from a team standpoint and however they coach him up. But those coaches also need a self-reflection on how they handled this situation. And I'm gonna just keep it to the Hail Mary play. First of all, your best pass rusher not on the field, which is an egregious mistake. That's like tonight, we here in Pittsburgh and TJ Watt not in the game for a last play on that possession. Montez Sweat is their $90 million defensive lineman that was on the sideline. The second part of this is rushing 3. For all of the coaches out there that saw this last night and have seen it before, stop doing it, damn it. All right, the Detroit Lions rushed 5 and sacked the quarterback in this situation.
I ain't doing that
rushed
to
3.
you.
So as much as I want to go in on Tyreek Stevenson, which everybody should, this was a failure by a lot of people outside of himself. And look, the Chicago Bears will bounce back from this. Tyreek will be better from this, and hopefully the coaches have learned in this particular situation as well. I hope it doesn't turn into a finger-pointing situation because a lot of people need to take blame for what transpired at the end of this game.
RC, the way he's talking to you is like it's your fault.
No, I'm just saying. I'm emotional about it because I'm sick of people rushing 3. And when we rush 3, we put y'all in a bad situation.
Yeah, don't put me in a bind.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody's okay here, though. Okay, Dan, let's look at the game as a whole for Washington. Jayden Daniels didn't practice much. He's dealing with the rib injuries.
Dan can't even throw that far, Boogie. Dan can't even throw that far. They would have lost the game if he would have been playing quarterback. He cannot even throw that far. He needed 30 more yards closer to the end zone to be able to reach it.
Bro, that's
Marcus is angry.
That's not even a knock. That's why I'm sitting here. No duh.
It's a knock because you played quarterback in the NFL.
No duh.
I mean, not many can throw that far, right? How did he look to you, though, Jayden Daniels, throughout the entire game, not just the Hail Mary?
Man, you can't. No, you can't.
Prove it.
You can't throw that far. Okay. I think Washington's offense is, outside of Detroit, the hardest offense in the NFC to handle.
Wow.
This game, although crazy ending, it really wasn't that close. They had 481 yards of offense against the Bears defense. That's the number 2 defense in the NFL. The most they've given up this year is 322. Jayden's QBR was 71. That's the best performance by a quarterback this season against this defense. The only reason it was close is because of some miscues in the red zone, maybe 2 called back touchdowns. I thought Jayden was absolutely spectacular. The reason why I say this is outside of Detroit, the hardest offense to handle. And RC, give me your thoughts. Marcus, give me your thoughts. You got to handle the no huddle. You got to handle different formations, different runs, quarterback runs. You got to handle the perimeter screens, the broken plays, and the shot plays. Yeah, there's not a lot of offenses in that conference running all of that. I think it's a problem to handle this group right now.
It's a problem.
You know what was so amazing about this Jayden Daniels performance for me is you took away 2 of the things that he has been doing really well because of his injury, the rib injury, right? The out-of-structure playmaking was not a part of this game. And then the design quarterback run game, it was almost entirely scrambles. And yet, despite that, he was able to dissect the Bears' zone defense. They play almost entirely zone from inside the pocket because of his accuracy, his decision-making, even though he was not 100% as a passer. And he was able to take off for a few timely scrambles and protect himself in doing so. I just think it's so impressive how every week he seems to win in a different kind of way. It almost feels like we're speed running quarterback development with him, and that's just how impressive his season has been.
We've had our research look into this. Dan, you have a 54 air yard completion in your career.
To who?
Woo!
Calvin?
Who did he complete it? Do y'all know who he completed it to?
That's a hell of a throw, Daniel.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you,
My little
RC.
nephew
Wow, Dan.
my little nephew in high school throw 54 yards.
He doesn't.
Yeah, he did.
But he doesn't.
Shout
You know
out
what?
to Trey.
Marcus, we're going to
Trey
make you
Wright.
throw
What's
on
up, bro?
camera
Yeah,
if you're
Marcus,
not careful.
you're about to do
Y'all
big
don't
man
under-
balling.
y'all don't- Listen, RC,
you're-
you know. Don't sit here like you don't know.
You can do
Your little
absolutely
ne- your
everything.
little nephew
54
got a
yards,
97
54
yarder to
yards
Calvin?
is a wake up.
All right.
Your little
Here's what
nephew
I-
got a 97 yarder to Calvin?
I'm going to tell you what, though. Who could do it? Roussel. Believe that.
Roussel.
Roussel would throw all his shoulder out the
In
side
here.
of his body.
All right, listen, you talk smack on this show, and you end up having to prove it. So we'll see what
You're
happens
going to throw
here.
your shoulder out.
Let's